Are you trying to build massive shoulders and get a seriously strong military press? If you're sick of pressing like a 7th grade child, then we've got all the answers to get your military press to blow up. All right, so that first exercise that we're gonna do for a monster military press is a close grip incline. A lot of guys forget when we're doing presses, when we're trying to build our shoulders, especially with military presses, sometimes our limiting factor is our triceps, okay? So if we can get our triceps stupid strong, which is what we're gonna use the close grip incline for, really strengthen that long head, now all of a sudden our shoulders can handle a little bit more of a load overhead, and we can start to build this up. So one of the things that I wanna point out when we're doing the close grip incline, I usually will say 14 to 16 inches. 14 inches is usually ideal. If you got a little bit of elbow pain though, warm them up for a while, do a couple sets, and then make sure you're doing a slow eccentric. Triceps are gonna blow up, and a little bit of your front delt, you're gonna start to trigger that, and medial delt, you're start to feel that. And then over time, as you blow up your close grip incline, you're gonna start to see those results blow up with the actual dumbbell military press. Check this out. I'll demonstrate a couple different reps, and we'll see how we're doing with the close grip incline. You can see there, I even like to use a bit more of a false grip. My hands open. I like to use a false grip because it just feels a little bit easier on my shoulders. So when you're using close grip incline, I'd say typically you should be going like 4 to 6 sets for, anywhere from 6 to 10 reps is where I like to be. A little bit more high threshold motor unit stimulation, just because it is going to really target that long head. So now we're going to head into one of my favorite shoulders exercises. It's sort of a combination between an external rotation along with a little bit of a press. It's like a shrug into a press. I call them chest forward dumbbell external rotations. You go a little bit heavier on them than you would on a dumbbell external rotation, so you can get a pretty good pump. You are gonna use your traps a little bit, which I think ends up leading to a pretty good shelf on that back end when we're gonna go hit that monstrous military press. So you're gonna use your traps a little bit, but you're also gonna be utilizing your rotator cuff here. So you gotta just be careful on the eccentric portion of the lift that you're not going too crazy. It was sort of like a W on your incline bench where you might be laying there doing W's. If you're doing YTWs, I think you can go a little bit heavier. Make sure you're retracting in the scap here. Activate your traps a little bit, and that will help when we get over to those military presses. It does help keep that rotator cuff healthy and stable at the same time. Be smart. Start light, 10, 15 pound dumbbells, and then you can slowly build up, but you will feel a little bit even of the rear delts as you start to get that little bit of a pump. Third trick I like using is a rear delt reverse flies, something that we tend to use on the incline bench. It's something I stole this from John Meadows probably a decade ago, where we just want to get high reps, and because we're going a little bit shorter range of motion, now we can start to stimulate a little bit more of our strength levels in our shoulders, because if we start to get super high on those reverse flies, we're not going to be able to have as much load if we're going a little bit shorter range of motion. And the other key is that we don't want to go to a full bang here with the dumbbells. We don't want to go to full lockout. It's just keep it moving, keep it swinging. So we call them meadow swings. We'll do sets of 20 up to sets of 40, looking for a massive pump. And if I go here with a neutral grip, it's gonna be a little bit more rear delt. If I go with my grip, I'm gonna get a little bit more of my rhomboid in my upper back. But this is gonna really stabilize it. And typically we'll use these at the end of our training session, 2 or 3 sets, and we're smoked. So typically we'll go here, And we got this post in our incline, so we can't really go to full lockout, which is good. We want to hit this for sets of 25 to 30. If you really want to get your rhomboid a little more, here with the grip. So it's not a full lockout on either side. Want to stimulate that growth in the upper back, create that shelf. Mainly create that shelf that we can keep building that big muscle up on that upper back so we can hit that massive military press. Whoa, you're cute in that yellow. So you notice we did a little bit of rear delts with the seated W's where we're gonna hit a little bit of trap, a little bit of rear delt, some external rotation there, hit the rotator cuff, and then we're smashing some bigger weights on the close grip incline. And then the last thing we did was the super high rep for rear delts with the meadow swings. That's gonna sort of sculpt up the backside of our delts. The biggest thing that I like to do, and this is more of a periodization or a little trick as far as programming is concerned, is I like to undulate between a heavy bench workout and a heavy military press workout. So we might go on, let's say day one, okay? We're gonna go heavy benches, so it's like 7 doubles. And then we're gonna hit drop sets, not on the bench press, but instead on the military press. So we might do 5 sets of 12 to 15 on the military press. Typically then, I'm gonna back off my shoulders for about 5 to 6 days. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna hit military press. And we're gonna go 4 or 5 sets of 5, and then 2 or 3 sets of 12. And then we're gonna head over to the flat bench and we're gonna hit up flat benches for 5 sets of 12 to 15 to get our hypertrophy work, our sarcoplasmic hypertrophy work on the flat bench. So I like to undulate my intensity between the flat bench and the military press. And what ends up happening is I stimulate quite a bit of front delt growth and strength here. And then that ends up transferring over from all the upper back work that we typically will do. And that's essentially one of the biggest keys, I think, behind growing that big military press along with those close grip incline is to try and coordinate, build that big shelf, that healthy upper back, and then stimulate some serious strength components by hitting big lifts on the barbells, okay? And then that's gonna transfer over to that big military press, hit 140 for 8, and now all of a sudden you got one of the best military presses that you could potentially ever see. So if you like this information, head over to grouchstrength.com. We use this in the book of SWOLE. We use this all along that mass builder program. And if you like this information, please like, subscribe, share this all over the internet. Peace.